What's up, guys? I'm Caden with Crypto Now or Never. Today I have a very important update on Kaspa. Please do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button. Help me pump that algorithm. I would greatly appreciate it. None of this is financial advice. Let's get into it. So just to give a little recap, this was Kaspa in my video just 12 days ago. It was trading at 11 cents and I had it drawn on a massive falling wedge. And this is Kaspa currently. It started to break out of that falling wedge, and had you guys taken that trade, you could have made up to 18% gains in 6 days. However, we then got rejected off the 50-day moving average. And now I will go more in depth into the current Kaspa chart at the end of the video. But I also just want you guys to understand the overall reality of Kaspa right now, because I see a lot of comments saying that Kaspa is done. Kaspa has had its time in the sun. Every crypto out there is going to have pullbacks, and Kaspa is no different. It doesn't mean it's done. You got to understand that only 6 months ago I had Kaspa drawn on a massive falling wedge and we were trading at just over 1.5 cents. So had you guys simply just bought Kaspa and held the entire time, you could have made up to 862% gains in 4 months. Now obviously you wouldn't be quite that high now, but you'd still be in crazy profit. So just have a long-term outlook. But regardless, I have some very exciting news, and this is for those of you guys that enjoy making gains in the crypto market. So I have recently launched my private Discord through Patreon, and if you look at the memberships, I have a trader tier, an exclusive tier, and a VIP tier. If you guys are just looking for something basic, I highly recommend joining the trader tier. It's only $9.99 a month, and in the Discord I am constantly posting trade setups, very similar to the stuff that I showed you on Kaspa, and I've already been posting some very nice gains in there. And then these next two tiers, the exclusive and VIP, are more for the serious crypto investors. These are for the people that want to have access to my buy alerts, my sell alerts, my consideration alerts, and have access to the cryptos that I am currently holding. The easiest way to put it is that trader is for those of you guys that want to see how I make short-term gains, and these upper tiers are for those of you guys that want to see how I'm going to make a lot of money in the next bull run. Now, I won't take up any more of your time with this, but I highly recommend joining my Discord. I believe it will be one of the best decisions you make heading into the next bull market. But anyways, back to Kaspa. It's currently trading at 10.5 cents. Its market cap is 2.3 billion, which ranks 39th among all cryptocurrencies. And its circulating supply is up to 22.1 billion out of a max supply of 28.7 billion, which is just over 77% in circulation. Now, Kaspa is also currently down 31.9% from its all-time high that it reached 2 months ago. And I will say, very few projects out there can claim that they recently reached all-time highs. That is very impressive for Kaspa. And quite frankly, it's one of the reasons I am super bullish on Kaspa, because you have to understand, Kaspa was born during a bear market. They've never actually experienced a bull run. So saying the sky is the limit for Kaspa could be an understatement. We've never seen what they're capable of. Now, if you're looking to trade Kaspa, I recommend using KuCoin or MEXC. I think those are the two easiest centralized exchanges to use. But now we'll get into some Kaspa news. So this is their Twitter, which has 191,000 followers. Now they just posted January 2nd, looking for the ideal info sheet on Kaspa. The infamous Kaspa battle cards are now 10 languages strong. Digital versions are available for download and mobile-friendly versions are in the works. And if you click on the link, as you can see, they have their 10 different languages right here. And I'll go ahead and click on the English one. But they do have a lot of very good information. Now, I'm not really going to read through any of this right now. But for those of you guys that don't really understand Kaspa, I recommend reading through this. You will understand why there is so much hype behind this project right now. And then they posted December 28th, this is what Kaspa was made for. Introducing the first merchant in Kenya to accept Kas. The store is Mama Obama Shop. And this is extremely important. Look, I understand there are a lot of people who don't want to spend their Kaspa because they don't like the idea of spending an appreciating asset. But the reality is that everyone would love to know they at least have the opportunity to spend their Kaspa. So this is very bullish for the project. But now we'll get into some macro news that could affect Kaspa's price action, even though it's not directly correlated to Kaspa. So this is Watcher Guru's Twitter, and they just posted 1 hour ago, GrayScale files registration of securities with the SEC for Bitcoin ETF. And only 19 hours ago, Fidelity did the exact same thing. And then Goldman Sachs in talks to become an authorized participant for BlackRock's and GrayScale's spot Bitcoin ETF. Now, all of this news is insane because of what they posted January 3rd. $540 million liquidated from the crypto market in the past 4 hours. And they said that Bitcoin price falls amid speculation of ETF rejection. So right now, it seems like there is a lot of misdirection in the market right now. Supposedly January 3rd, the ETF was going to get rejected, but now there's a bunch of bullish news suggesting it would get approved. Now, believe me, I understand there are a lot of you guys out there who are probably tired of hearing about the Bitcoin spot ETFs, but the reality is that they can heavily affect price action. So they are definitely something you guys are going to want to keep your eyes on. And the supposed approval date for these would be January 5th through January 10th of this year, which quite literally could be as soon as 1 day away. And that is insane because I have been talking about these for months now. And I truly believe they could help bring trillions of dollars to the industry. You have to understand it will make it significantly easier for the older generations to get into cryptocurrency, as they won't have to worry about self-custody. They can essentially treat it like a mutual fund in the stock market, and they can have a third party managing their assets for them. But now for the final part of this video, we'll get into some technical analysis. So this is Kaspa on the daily time frame. And as I said, had you guys taken this initial falling wedge trade, you could have made up to 18% in 6 days. But then price action got rejected off the 50-day moving average. But what am I seeing right now? Now the RSI has actually started to reset, but the stochastics are still a little bit overbought. Now what I really don't like to see right now is that the 21-day moving average has broken beneath the 50-day moving average. That is a death cross, which typically signals you're going to drop in the short term. Now you could argue that that's already started to play out, but oftentimes it's more violent than this. Now on a more positive note, this 0.099 or even 10-cent level is a very strong level of support. This was the previous all-time high that we reached November 10th of 2023, and it's already almost at a triple bottom. So again, it does show that it's a very strong support level. Now I will say this falling wedge technically is still valid, and it has a huge measure move to just under 18 cents. Now in order for me to have faith that this measure move is actually going to hit, I first need to see price action get back above the 21-day moving average. The last thing we want to see is price action to come up and bearishly retest the 21-day. If that happens, I could see us falling all the way back down to 8 cents. So overall, to me, Kaspa does not look absolutely terrible in the daily time frame. However, I also don't think it looks great. So personally, I will not be entering a Kaspa trade. Again, you have to understand there is so much misdirection in the market right now with these Bitcoin spot ETFs. So in my eyes, this is no different than going to a casino and gambling, because if those ETFs get accepted, they could skyrocket the entire market. But if they get rejected, they could tank the entire market. So it's not even Kaspa's fault, but just be very careful. But now lastly, I'll go over Bitcoin as it's correlated to most altcoins. And this is Bitcoin on the daily time frame. And Bitcoin is also being very indecisive right now. I started out very bullish when it was trading in this bull flag, and I said it has a measure move to just over $48,000. However, we then could not close a candle above 44,600. So I said be very careful of a double top. So we then started to break down, and we actually broke beneath the 21-day moving average. So then I was like, okay, make sure we don't have a bearish retest. And if we do, I'm going to be bearish in the short term. But then these next couple days, we have had some major spot ETF news, which first off caused a major pump, and then the very next day caused a massive dump. So again, I cannot stress enough, very similar to Kaspa, there is so much manipulation in the market right now. The reality is, yes, Bitcoin is trading above the 21-day moving average. And if you look at price action, we swing from a lower low to a higher low. The RSI makes a double bottom, which is Class C bullish divergence, which typically signals a local bottom has been reached. So purely from a TA standpoint, I would not be surprised if Bitcoin hit $48,000. But I cannot in good faith recommend you taking this trade with the Bitcoin spot ETF news right around the corner, because it very easily could go either way. But I do also want to end on the note that the reality is, even if you bought Bitcoin right now, you have to ask yourself one big question. Do you think Bitcoin is never going to get back above $44,140? Because to me personally, during the heights of the next bull run, I think Bitcoin will skyrocket past that. So even if you bought now and you just held, it probably is not going to hurt you in the long run. But I'm just talking purely from a short-term standpoint. Be very careful. But that's about all. Let me know down in the comments, how high do you guys think Kaspa will go next bull run? If you found this content valuable, please do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great rest of your day.